we are preparing and we want to present it to everyone. I'm just going to share a small write-up that I've created for everyone to understand how to shoot a video with your mobile phone. Hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, it's good. We can make it full screen.
Okay. So now shooting with a mobile phone is very easy because it's not as complicated as a DSLR or a camera where you have to make sure and take a lot of notes about how the exposure is to be done, how the sound quality is coming or is it coming or not. Keep all of those things in mind, but there are some basic things which should be kept in mind so that you get the best of the quality out from a mobile phone. One of the easiest way is always create a video or shoot a video in a horizontal format. So what happens is we have the whole view of the phone rather than just if we are shooting it like this in a vertical format, we will not be able to see a lot of the things that are being done over there. Now, after that, once we've got our camera placement done, which is horizontal, we move on to how a shoot needs to be done, where we learn about the fact called rule of thirds. So rule of thirds is where you divide your screen into 6 parts and you place your subject on the left hand side or the right hand side of those 2 parts or the connecting dots. So as you can see over here, what I'll do is I'll just make a small diagram. So now this is how your phone screen is going to look like, right? These are your pointers where your subject needs to be placed, either onto this side or onto that side. So how you are going to do that is simply just place your subject over here. So let's say it's a person. You will keep the person over here. That will be on the either the left hand side of the screen. The subject should be on these 2 connecting points. That's the major thing to acknowledge. So again, if you want to keep your subject onto this side, then the subject should be onto these 2 points. This is very easy to even do on your phones because there's a option called guidelines in your phone. So once you open your guidelines in your mobile phone or mobile devices, you will be able to see exactly the grid like format like this. If you can see in the PPT over here, where this is exactly there are 6 connecting points on the screen, which are going to be hair, 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 or hair. So you are going to place your subject like this. Now, I'll show you a reference as to how these things can be done. So if you see over here, how the subject is placed onto this side of the screen, which is on the left side of the screen. So if you divide it into 6 parts, you'll see that the subject is perfectly aligned on the connecting point. Now again, the similar thing where the subject is on the other side of the screen, where over here the subject is towards the left. So from this side, you can see there are another 2 connecting points. So that's called the short side where you won't have a lot of room inside the video. While on the broad side, there's a lot of room. So this will be explained in the editing part of the video, where once you keep the subject onto this side of the screen, you can actually place their names over here or their designations or the project that they're doing. We can talk about all of it over here. Now, the next thing is to keep your phone stable. So to keep your phone stable, either what you will have to do is not hold your phone ever with one hand. Always keep your phone handled with 2 hands and always tuck your hands inside. So what you will do is, like how we shoot is going to be, we're going to take the phone, we're going to tuck our elbows inside and then shoot so that there's most minimal amount of movement for people. Now, next, what you can also do is place your phone onto a surface. These are just a basic few things where you can kind of keep your phone at, like a cup or something, just to give it a little bit more of stability. Now, next, we move on to the room. So, mostly whenever we shoot a video, it should be shot in a more quieter place. Whatever we are talking about, try to see if the room is empty, or if not completely empty, there should be minimum amount of noise. So you can tell your peers or you can tell the people in the room just to keep quiet at the time that you are shooting that video, so that people can hear you better. Now, the next thing is lighting. So, with the space, whenever you're shooting a video, let's say this is a space where we're shooting this or we're doing this interview, this is an ample amount of light which will come to your face. Try to keep, try to be in front of a window, or if not, if it's not possible for you to be in front of a window, try to turn on as many lights in the room as you can, so that there's a lot of lighting in the whole area and you're able to show what you are trying to do. Now, so whenever you shoot a video, it's very important to know that if, let's say, someone else is going to edit it, or if you are yourself going to edit it, there should be at least a minimum gap of 2 seconds before you start the shoot of your video and after you end the shoot of your video. So what will happen is it's easier to cut down your video once you're there. Last but not the least, because not a lot of us have a proper mic setup with us or a proper studio setup with us, what we can do is we can keep another mobile phone or another mobile device and use the recording, the sound recording from that device and play it over here. Any questions about this?
Yeah, one thing that is coming up from, yeah, Shivam, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
So one thing that has come up on YouTube live chat is that there are two things to show. One is the presenter piece, and one is the project that we created. So consider it's a 2 minute, 3 minute video that they need to make. So
Yes.
we focus on it and when.
Can't hear you, Suman.
So like what should whenever they're creating the video, what should be the focus? The present or the project? Or should it be a mix of both?
Yes. So that's a very good question. We should always have a mix. So what we can do is we can always record one video which will have the interview first, which will be of the person who's presenting the project, which will talk, like, let's say one person wants to talk about their project. Let's shoot that person first and let's have a complete video of that. Then what you want to show, let's say you want to show your project. So if you want to show your project, that's the next thing you want to do. You should be shooting your project now. Now, basic things in shooting your project is going to be either keep your phone very stable and shoot it from one angle. Secondly, what you can try is to shoot creatively. So maybe you can move the phone from left to right, very in a very slow movement, so that your subject is able to see what. Sorry, your subject is visible in the screen. Plus, you're able to give some movement in the frame. Giving movement in the frame actually helps people to see the whole entirety of the project rather than just shooting it from one single frame. That will be much more creative to do. So and then after that, we mix and match all of these footages and then create the whole video. So any more questions?
No, thanks a lot.
No?
That was it.
That's the only question.
Yeah.
Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll just now go to the next part of it is going to be basic editing of this video.
Yeah. So while we go towards the editing part, it would be great if you could stop the screen sharing, so your video would be a little bit more clear.
Sure.
Yeah. So one more interesting question has come up in the chat. So the question is that like whenever I shoot a video, it always becomes blur. How to maintain clarity of the video? So Shivam, we can answer that also when you're ready.
I'm just showing the software. Just give me a second. It's time. I'm opening the software right now.
Okay. So till then, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. We'll take them at the end.
Hi
Mr.
guys, I'm back. I'm just going to share my screen to show
Yes.
you. Uh,
You can turn on your video also if possible.
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. So can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a very basic editing software which will be available for everyone in their mobile devices as well. This is called Vita V App Editor, right? So very simply, how we'll start is basic things are over here, which is a transition, some caption, or you can add some music if you want to, and basic animation and all. So let me start the project and let me use something as simple as this. I'll import it, right? This is now what a video timeline will look like, right? And we have a video like this. So this is kind of like the video that you guys will be able to like, let's say you've shot this. Now this is, and like this is that 2 second of gap which is there, which is not necessary, and we want to start directly from the project itself. So what we'll do is we'll trim the video, double click on it, we'll trim it till this point. It's easier. You can even adjust the size and everything of the video very simply. So if you want to scale the video, or if you don't want to descale the video, you can do that. Try to maintain the whole aspect ratio. So the aspect ratio, what we say aspect ratio is as these guidelines that you see. So these guidelines are for your help. So you are able to see where to keep your subject. So just to keep your subject onto this line, which is over here, onto the right side of the screen or the left side of the screen. The exact same rule that I told you about, the rule of thirds. We'll try and keep it like that. And if we want to arrange, let's say I want more focus to be on the hand, so I'll just zoom it in a little bit. That's it. Now, after that, once we've trimmed it from this side, let's go to the next section. We'll just go to the last section. Now this is done. This is, let's say this is the end point of our video. Then we'll trim the last portion of the video by sliding the slider again, right? And now then we'll see if our trim is perfect. We'll see how much it, right? We can see the trim now. Okay. Okay. Now, once that is done, once we've trimmed our video, we can go to the main timeline. Now we'll be able to see that this is there, right? Now, let's say we want to add some text. We'll add a text. Let's say whatever we want to say, ATL marathon, and we click right to over here. We want the text to be over here. We want to scale the text or make it smaller. Try to keep the text either on the empty area which we have uh, used for the video, or keep it in the center. Just if it's a title, keep it in the center. If there's some information that we're sharing, keep it on the blank side of the screen. Okay. Once that is done, we'll click it. Now we have our title over here. We can use the, we can see the title. It will appear and it will disappear. Now, if we want this title to be throughout the video, we can create it for throughout the video as well. So it will be there throughout the video. Or if you want it for some duration, we can cut short it to this much. Then we'll add some animation to it, basic animation, how we want. Let's say we want it to fade in, or let's say we want it to zoom in. So we can have those simple animations to be done over here, basic animations. Let's say we want it to zoom in, and this will appear like this, right? Now, what we'll also do is Once we've done this, now let's see the font. What font are we using? So right now we have, let's say Roboto is there. We have Roboto M. Let's say let's use some bold font to just have some more visibility. Then we can also have some styles to it. So let's say we want to have an outline to it. Let's add some outline to basic outlines to it, right? Make it as creative as you can, but also try to keep it as simple as you can. Or probably like this is one of the easiest approach that we always take for ATL marathon or for any video that we create for AIM, which will have a basic, let's say this is what we're trying to say, and this is done. Right? This is now done. We can get it in the center of the screen. And now let's play the video again from the start. Right? I think that much is easy. Now, once that is done, let's move on to the next part, which is sound. We can also add some kind of a music to it if we want to, or if let's say we want to add some voiceover to it, we can even record the voiceover and add to this, right? I'm not going to do a voiceover right now, but we can do that. Or we can use these music tracks that are available. And if we want to add those, we can add those as well. Any basic music, let's say we're trying to use this as a sound track. And we just put add to it. It will add the soundtrack over to the original video. I think that is enough. Now let's say we want to cut some portions in between this video. So what we'll do is use this split tool. We'll split the video now. Now the video is going to be split into two portions. Now let's go to the video. Let's have a split added over here. We have this one over here. Have this much. Now let's add another split to it. And we go back and there are cuts now. So let's say we want to keep this front cut towards the back. Let's use this. Keep on pressing onto it and you will be able to switch between these two cuts. Right? And to get this music track. Yeah. Okay. Now once that is done, you can play the video. So we've made some cuts now. So we know where to put which section. These are the basic things. Now you want to add some effect to it. Let's say maybe some kind of a color grade that you want to add to it. You can have those as well. You want to add some basic effects to it. Don't make it, don't try to add like a lot of effects. It doesn't look that great. Sorry. Yeah. So don't add too many effects, otherwise it hampers with the quality of the video. Just have like basic cuts in between where you want to just cut out the portions that are not necessary. Just add those portions and delete the portions that are not necessary in the video. Add a sound effect if you want to, just to create some ambience. But I would recommend that if you don't even, if you're giving it out to AIM, try to give one version without any sound effect and give one version with some sound effects. Then just add some basic text to explain about your project, whatever project it is. just as I explained to you how you can do it. Now, if you want to create like, if you want to add some more videos to it, you can just put like over here, you can add another video to it, and another video will be added to the timeline, right? So now another video has been added to the timeline before this. So this will happen like this, right? Or you want to add another video. Let's say, let me add another video to it, and that will be added as well. Add like multiple videos. Now multiple videos will be added to the whole this thing. Now you can see there are 10 videos that are running in the same timeline. Any questions about this?
Shivam, we can take the questions altogether.
So I think this is it about the video. Last is about exporting, how you will export the video. You'll just press onto the export button that you see on the right hand side, the top right hand side of the screen. You'll just press export and it will start saving your video. That is it. You choose your uh, dimensions over there. Once you click onto the 1080p panel, try to keep the frame rate at either 25 frames per second or 30 frames per second and at 1080p HD. And that's it. You will also get your estimated file size over here, and that's where you export. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah. So, Shivam, can we go on to the questions now? There are quite a few good questions that the students have asked.
yeah.
Okay. So the first questions comes around like, what are the different type of softwares that you can use or apps that we can use? You showed one of them. Are there any other softwares or apps that they can use?
Yeah.
You can name.
So there are a lot of free software. So why I showed you VN? It is a free software for everyone that you can download through your mobile apps. Where most of the editing software that are there in your mobile apps or your computers are going to be with a very similar framework. So you will be able to edit in any of these if you know these basic things, the timeline and the editing process. There are a few software that you can use. One is Filmora, one is VN, one is Adobe Premiere Pro. So I would say we can share a list of some software which are free for people to download, and that everyone can download from there. But most of the framework is going to be very similar.
Yeah, so that also brings me to another question from another student or mentor. So they have asked like there are some video softwares when you export, there is a watermark that comes at the bottom or at the top. So
Yeah.
is there an open source software that you can use to remove them?
Yes. So what you can try is if you are using, there are a lot of software which create watermarks. If you're not using the pro model of that, what you can do is we can try and see Windows Movie Maker is one of those softwares which are free for everyone using Windows. Then there is iMovie, which is free for everyone using an Apple Mac system. We can use those softwares. If we don't want to use those softwares, VN is one of the softwares that I've just shown you. It's because of the fact that this is completely free for everyone. So anyone who edits on this software will not get a watermark.
Yeah, thanks. I think that will help the students a lot. Another very important question that's coming up is that whenever I shoot videos, a student is saying that whenever I shoot videos, it's generally a little bit blur and there is a lot of background noise that comes along. So is there any way by which we can remove the background noise and make it a little bit more clearer?
So for background noise removal, that's why I said try to keep it in, like try to shoot the video in the most minimal places that we can, because removal of background noise is a very complex process, which for which we'll have to use the pro software. So in the free softwares, it's not available to remove background noise. Another use how you can reduce background noise is something that I said, that you can use another mobile device which you should start the recording should start at the same time from both the devices, and then you can sync it in this software. How you will do it is just place the video and the soundtrack above and below each other so that you can easily track the sound and everything. But it is very tough to remove background noise in post, so I would recommend that we should remove as much background noise as we can while we are shooting.
Yeah, thanks, sir. So another thing is that like, is it possible to overcome that background noise by inserting some background sound effects or a background music? So should the student
Yes.
add some music to their videos?
Yes. So that's why I showed to add a background music track to it. If let's say there is a very faint amount of background noise and it is sounding not, it's not sounding that great. What we can always do is add a little bit of a like a background score to it. What it does is that it brings your attention as the user's attention or the person's attention directly to the voice, because that's when the person starts to listen to the voice more rather than just listening to the sound, the music. The background noise gets like mixed with the music itself, so it doesn't sound that horrible, and it sounds much more pleasing to everyone who's listening to the track. I would say just try to increase the sound of your video itself and reduce the music sound a little bit less, so that your voice is also like audible, and also your background score is audible.
Yeah. So that takes us to the next question. What is the maximum size limit of the video that we create, and what is the maximum time limit? So for time limit, I'll just take this question up. So for marathon, generally what you need to do is that you need to shoot your video, you need to upload it on your YouTube channel of your own, and you need to paste the link in the form on MyGov. So for this, there is no size limit because YouTube has no size limits. You can make your video as big as possible in terms of file size. But for the duration of the video, we recommend you to keep it below 3 minutes because that makes your video a little bit more crisp and easier to view. So try to capture everything, why you're making the project, how you're doing it, the process of the science behind it, and even the applications. Try to do all of it in within 3 minutes, or I'll say within 2.5 minutes. That would make your video look much more better. So coming up to the last two questions. So should we do an indoor shoot or outdoor shoot? What do you recommend?
Mostly try to do an indoor shoot. Outdoor shoots tend to get more noise. Indoor shoots tend to get at least lesser noise compared to an outdoor shoot. Until unless there's a position where inside the premises there's a lot of noise, while on the outside there's not that much, then only try to do it an outside shoot. But I would always recommend to do an indoor shoot for, like in any scenario. Try to find a place which has the minimal noise, or let's say there's no one in the room. Try to do your shoot in that area. It will help a lot in terms of reducing your noise inside the video itself.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. So another, that's a very nice question, and thanks for taking this up. So this question says that there is a new tool that has come up from Adobe called as Adobe Podcast Enhancer. So can we use
Yeah.
it for removing the background sound of a video? Like, what do you recommend?
So, if you are trying to use the like the Adobe softwares, I would suggest that you can use that. If you're using Adobe softwares, I'll suggest that start using Premiere Pro. It will have all the functionalities over there itself. If you want to get into like the editing part of it in a better way, go into Adobe Premiere. There will be an option called noise removal inside it itself, which is called denoise. Try just add that effect to your sound clip, and your noise will be minimized to a very lesser extent. It will be much more easier for you guys to actually use it. Or there, Adobe has also released a software for your videos in your mobile devices, I mean, which is called Adobe Clip. So you can use that software as well. In that software also you will find a few uh, like areas where you can reduce a little bit of the noise. I wouldn't say that it will be able to help you reduce a lot of noise, but in Adobe Premiere you will be able to reduce the noise to an extent. So if you are trying to do it, rather than going for something like an Adobe podcast, which is a proper like audio editing tool, it will be much better if you use an Adobe Premiere, because it will give, one, you can edit the video over there as well, plus you can edit the sound there as well, rather than going into two different softwares, trying to make everything in, then coming back to another software and getting it like packaged there. So it will be better if you actually do it in one software itself.
Yeah. So that brings us to the last question of the day. Uh,
Yeah,
so they're asking like, is it better to edit on a PC or on mobile?
can't hear you.
Yeah. So the question is it better to edit on a PC or on a mobile device?
So it completely depends. So why I showed you a software which I was using on a mobile device was because not everyone is able to get a PC at every given point or every given location. It is that's why I would say, just if anyone has the liberty to use a laptop, do it in a laptop itself. It's much better, it's much smoother, it's much more easier to do it on a laptop. But let's say if you don't have a laptop, you shouldn't be bogged down with the fact that you don't have a laptop or a PC handy with you right now. You can still do it on your mobile phone. Now mobile devices are that much efficient for you guys to actually edit on a mobile device itself and share a video, rather than being bogged down with the fact that you don't have a device.
So thanks a lot, Shivam, for being so patient and answering all these questions. So I hope that these tips will help the students a lot to create better
Yeah,
marathon. And
we will.
yeah, yeah, Shivam. Okay.
So I just want to say we will. I would give you this document. We can share it. We can share this document as a link inside
Yeah,
the video itself, and everyone can use it and try to can actually see the tips. If any tip is being missed out from their end, they can actually refer back to this document and get back the tips that they should use, and it will greatly help in improving the quality of the video.
yeah, completely agree to that. So thanks a lot, Shivam, for your guidance. Thanks a lot for explaining all these concepts and all these in a beautiful way. Uh, Hope to see many teams participate in this edition of ATL Marathon. So the last date has been extended till 31st of March. So you have around 24 more days. So start building your project, start shooting your project, start editing them, and try to submit your project at least a week in advance so that you try to avoid the last minute rush. And we would like to see at least 25 teams participating from each and every ATL school. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Shiva, for taking this exciting session. And,
Thank you so much.
best, yeah, all the best for the upcoming edition of ATL Marathon.
All the best, everyone. Thank you so much.